Alright folks, welcome back to another monthly upload, which I stopped doing it because I'm a lazy fuck, but patch 1.10 has been out on the common test server for about 3 weeks now, and after finish grinding the rank battle mode, I finally have some time to do this preview yet again. So as with every new patch, there are new hidden vehicles added to the main 13 files, they're not available, yada yada, so let's voyeur up these two vehicles that were added into the game files. Now with 1.10, we have the introduction of the Polish medium tanks, which are practically TVP V2Us into T44s, into T54s, into a Leopard 1-ish of a medium tank. It does get a special engine boost capability, but this thing doesn't have armor, so you cannot bounce any shots, and it's like a Leopard 1, so might as well just drive around with Leopard 1's accuracy and penetration and alpha and the top speed. Yep, so this thing is a bait. It says 260 for the turret front. It doesn't have 260 for the turret front, so it's actually 85, 95-ish. Yep, 85 on the cheeks, 95 in the middle, so it's roughly 135 effective. It's only 260 for the mantlet, and that's it. So just shoot the cheek front and you'll pin. I mean, there's no gimmick with a gun. You don't have an autoloader, you don't have an auto reloader, so you have a basic 105mm practically. Yeah, I mean it does go fast, but why not just play with the Leopard 1? I don't know. So that's the new tech tree for the Polish. If you're bored, you can play with it. That still means I have to buy this 14 TP or have to use the. Can I? Oh, only have 17? That sucks. I think that's still enough, right? I still have to free XP some modules. Son of a bitch. So, yep, but these two tanks are not available in the tech tree. So starting off, we have the CS-52. The Counter-Strike 52 is basically a T-44 105. Practically. It has a 105, doesn't get the special engine boost capability, so nothing to play around with that. Crew 4. It's practically a T-44, 105. Accuracy is meh. Aim time is a little bit long, but whatever. Gun depression not as good as the T-44. Gun elevation is also not as good. Gun traverse speed is also not as good. It's about like 50-ish, but takes a little bit longer to reload. Better penetration though. Better alpha. BPM is okay. Eh. It's a large gun for a T-44, but nah, okay. Armor is T-44, 80 at the front for the hull, 190 for the turret front. Exact armor is, oh, is it a bait? 80 at the front, 85 for the lower plate, but you'll get pinned. Cheeks, 190, yep. So turret is relatively okay-ish at bouncing shells, but high penetration shells like a 152 plus some 120 will pin also, but ugh. Alright. Mobility wise, okay-ish engine power. When I say okay-ish, that's like Russian tier 10 medium tanks, but the T-44 100 has like 23 or so, which is above average. But yeah, this thing doesn't rev up pretty quick. Top speed of 50, reverse of 20, ultraverse decent. I cannot check the terrain resistance because I don't own this tank, and they changed up the layout of the equipment and stuff, so cannot look at the tracks and see the actual speed now. Wonderful. Yep, I cannot check the terrain resistance anymore since they took away the track module page on the main screen. Wonderful. Alright, concealment, not bad. It's okay. It's not exactly a heavy tank, but it's still not as stealthy as you would like. And 380 meters of view range, which is below average. Yeah, radio range is below average. So, I mean, it's SSDD, right? It's the same shit as a T-44-100, except you have a larger gun with less mobility and less view range and less gun characteristics shooting with it. Wonderful. It's a premium, so whatever. Alright, moving on to the T-77, which is like a mini T-57, I guess. Elements of the T-54 with elements of the T-57. It's a mini T-57, a tier 8 premium. It's a medium. It's not heavy. But you move all the tanks into the heavy line. You move the T-54E1 into the heavy line. It's not a medium anymore. Why introduce this as a medium? I don't know. Crew of 4, 120mm autoloader, yada yada yada. So DPM sucks ass. 1,500. Holy crap. Accuracy is actually not bad. 0.35 for our autoloader, but aim time is long. 8 degrees of gun depression, not bad. Gun traverse speed is slow like a heavy medium. And takes about 38 seconds to reload the entire drum. Takes between 2 seconds between each shell and only 3 shells. So you crank out only 1,200 damage. Actually, 1,200 damage minus 120. So 1,100 damage. Wow. Why is it 360? It's not the projectile's gun. I mean, this thing got rebuffed and nerfed and rebuffed for a bunch of times, but holy crap. This DPM sucks. Armor-wise, I don't expect this thing to have armor, similar to the American autoloaders. You know. But it's a patents haul, presumably. Yeah, it will bounce a few unaimed shots on the hull, but just pin the turret front, turret cheeks, you'll pin. Yeah. It's like a T-57 heavy. Yeah, health-wise, it's not exactly heavy tank-ish as well. God damn, the DPM sucks. Horsepower per ton ratio is 14.29, fat medium. Top speed of 48, reverse of 18. Hull traverse is slow, like a fat medium. Weighs about 50 tons though, so you could ram a few stuff, but garbage camo, like a heavy medium. And view range is garbage. For American tank, should be like 400 or at least 390, but why? What's the point of these vehicles? I mean, I understand the point of the CS52, but for this thing, I mean, if it's like in a bond shop, but okay, there's no purpose. You have a bunch of American mediums that you could use at tier 8, like the Super Pershing. That's good. Jumbo Pershing is heavy tank, so it doesn't count. Well then again, American mediums at tier 8 is not particularly good, other than the Pershing, but Pershing's normal tank. So, the T-25 Pilot number 1, ugh. No. Oh man. Yeah, okay, I get it, whatever. So there you go folks. The hidden vehicles added in patch 1.10. It's nothing spectacular. There's no tier 9s that's added into the patch, not that I'm aware of. No fancy tier 9s? Like the Object 780, 780? I don't think so. There's the Lorraine 50T, which we already covered like a month ago. Yep, there's nothing new. Nope. There's the new Polish tank, but STRVK, UDES a bunch of times, which doesn't seem particularly strong. Yeah, I should try out the Polish medium, but I've been playing a bunch of other tanks, and I've been playing the rank battle mode to finish that grind. But there was always the Steam summer sale, and I already bought a few games. I finished those games, mostly Far Cry's. I played Far Cry 5 through and through. Play a few other games as well. Stopped playing World of Tanks for a while. Got sore from my allergies during springtime, and that led to a weird cough, which scared the crap out of me, which I thought was coronavirus. It was actually just a common cold. Funny enough. Wonderful. So, outside weather is like muggy and hot and shit. Disgusting to go out. Also, we have the new equipments on the common test server. I never look at these. I was busy not playing World of Tanks. So let's take a look at the new equipments. So there's a new category for each tank class. Heavy tank gets the survivability boost to this category. And medium tanks get the mobility boost. Light tanks get nothing. Oh, tier 5 and below doesn't get anything. Light tanks get the scouting thing, which happens with their scouting stuff. Artillery gets the firepower thing, which just makes artillery slightly better because boofing the rate of fire is always good. Tank destroyer gets firepower boost. Why do you introduce these stuff? It's unnecessary. Well, then again, every tank destroyer gets buffed based on everybody have firepower boost. Why is it red now? Ugh. Alright, heavy tanks get the survivability stuff, yada yada yada. And this patch was based off of prior to the rank battle mode. So I don't have my IS-5 and Corvette's KB4. Sensible. But can you... Wait. Does it still cost money to demount? Destroy... Demount. They did give you 30 demounting kits, but I have about 270 tanks, excluding the rental tanks. I have about 275-ish. So 30 is not enough to demount everything. And I also, if you haven't noticed, have a particular OCD about my configuration. It's always rammer, vertical stabilizer, or vents, or rammer, something, something, something. Like rammer, optics, and camo net. It's always like that because I'm a OCD autistic bastard. I don't know. Just not making fun of those people, but whatever. Just, I don't know. But can you move the equipments around just in case for my OCD? You can actually do that. That's good. You can move your equipments around, so you don't actually have to change. Alright. And finally, let's take a look at the new equipments, because I haven't done it. So ventilation is all the same, but it's plus 1% more if you have the special slot dedicated for it. So, alright. Interesting. Plus 6% is not much. I mean, plus 5% is also not much. I thought it was going to be like plus 10% or plus 15. Not that good. It's still okay. I mean, it's universal. You don't really need it, but whatever. Improve rotation mechanism. Increase to turret traverse speed, vehicle traverse speed, and minus dispersion during traversing. Plus 2.5% more. It's for firepower or mobility. I mean, rammer is always going to be the best for firepower, no question added. Because boosting your reload time, it means you kill stuff faster, which means you survive longer. So the best defense is best offense. So no question about ramming, but but for this thing, if you feel your tank is slow, it's okay. You can jam all of these on. I mean, you can jam the rammer, jam the rotation mechanism, and jam a vertical stabilizer. But uh, aiming speed, this is good. Minus 7% to the aim circle size. Wow. Uh, this is good with artillery, right? I mean, put this into the first slot, put the rammer, and then enhance gun lane drive. Or yeah, this might be good for artillery or long range sniper tanks. But usually, I don't think long range will be good for. Well, if your tank have very good accuracy, like the STRV tanks, I don't think you need the aim circle reduction. Maybe you need this with like something like the FE4005 or something. Yeah, okay. Vertical stabilizer, always good for medium tanks. It during moving and as well as during turret rotation, so it happens all the time, even if you're still. So I think this is still very good. Small liner minus damage from HE. Is it possible to reload or retrofit all heavy tanks to HE small liner? Minus stun duration, protection for crew, minus additional stun duration if you double get stunned, and minus damage to the high explosive shells. I mean, based on the pervasive artillery from rank battle mode, I can guarantee you this is not a bad choice. This is not a bad choice for heavy tanks that need to hold down a corner, like a mouse, for example. Improve hardening, giggly. Rounded to the 1 decimal point. Suspension durability plus repair speed to suspension plus 10% to low capacity minus damage to the hull by suspension during impact plus 10% health points. I mean, at max, this is 300 hit points. That's it for a mouse because that's the max HP. But it just means tracks have more health and you are less likely to get detracked. I still think the small liner is better than the improved hardening because the HP buff is not as much as I would wanted, right? So this, why am I applying this to the AM Ginger? Alright, but the small liner is more effective due to artillery spams and due to high explosive from large caliber guns like the 60 TP shooting 152mm high explosive at you, or the Object 268 version number 4 shooting high explosive at you, or the Object 705A shooting high explosive at you, or any tank shooting high caliber high explosive at you. And small liner will help a lot. So I think this is actually very viable, much more than the hardening. Improved configuration, which is plus 35% to repair speed, ammo rack health, loading speed, engine loss of power, less chance of fire. So this is basically combined ammo rack health with engine health with toolbox. And this is survivability. Not as good as the small liner. And I mean, if a heavy tank goes solely on all these survivability aspect instead of the firepower aspect, I mean, interesting. You don't need the rammer for something like the mouse, right? Or do you? Or the enhanced gun lane drive. Or the vertical stabilizer. I think that actually will be somewhat viable when I think about it. So for example, if you're playing the mouse, get rid of the vents. Vents is obviously need to go. You don't need the vents. Flip this around. Put vents somewhere else. Put the spall liner, which is better. So demount and put the spall liner. Prevents fuel tank repair speed. I still think having suspension repair speed and more vehicle hit points, or just in general repair speed, ammo rack health, chance of engine fire, and this is basically a toolbox with some upsides. This is basically more HP with slightly upside to the repairing of your tracks. I mean, you could put this thing into the second slot and don't need the vertical stabilizer. Maybe. Funny enough. Alright. Did we lose a bunch of equipment? No, we didn't. Alright, so next up we have additional browsers, more vehicle traverse speed, maintaining speed when moving across. This is mobility. I've been playing way too much World of Tanks for so long that mobility doesn't mean much when you have more firepower. That's always been the case. If you put a rammer, you put a rammer. If you put vertical stabilizer, you put the vertical stabilizer. Anything to help with your firepower will mean you'll be able to carry the game, right? So, yeah. Plus 10% to engine power. This is actually very good with vehicles that have very high engine power and moves very quickly, such as the new CS63 or whatever that thing is. Camouflage net, always been decent. No noise, low noise exhaust system class. This is good for light tanks, I think. Scouting, but then again, optics has always been good for scouting. This has always been good for cars, but you still get the plus 3% if you don't put it into the front slot, so you get a slight bonus. But this is good for cars as well, or any other light tanks. Binoculars is still good for tank destroyers. I don't think light tank need this, other than if you're very good at passive scouting. Oh man, these new equipments are mind-boggling, but it's not all bad. I mean, all of these are useful. It's not like the wet ammo rack stuff where it's fucking useless and takes up a slot. No, these are all decent, depending on your playstyle. So if you're feeling that you need more small lining protection or, I don't know, better traverse speed, these are still decent. But I mean, this doesn't feel as strong as something else, like the engine power one. So, but some of these does cost less than the other ones, obviously. So, yeah, okay. So there you go, folks. Cancel changes. The new stuff in patch 1.10, which I stopped covering for like 3 weeks, but I don't know if I can get to the Polish medium tank before this patch comes out. I'll probably play it next week, but I'll do an update on my actual account and my grind on the actual account. But thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll put a timestamp, not to bore you with the equipment discussion, whatever the hell that thing is. But I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Listen to the wind blow. Sunrise, running in the shadows.